has been a number of years since I began excavating the ruins of Kandar with a group of my colleagues. Now my wife and I have retreated to a small cabin in the solitude of these mountains. Here I continued my research undisturbed by the myriad distractions of modern civilization and far from the groves of academe. I believe I have made a significant find in the Kandarian ruins, a volume of ancient Sumerian burial practices and funerary incantations. It is entitled Naturan de Manto, roughly translated, Book of the Dead. The book is bound in human flesh and inked in human blood. It deals with demons, demon resurrection, and those forces which roam the forest and dark bowers of man's domain. The first few pages warn that these enduring creatures may lie dormant, but are never truly dead. They may be recalled to active life through the incantations presented in this book. It is through recitation of these passages that the demons are given license to possess the living. Tatra amistrobin hazarta. Tatir mano mansizon hazan sobar. Samanda robza. Darhis hiker dans de rodza. Ganda.
Shut it off.
Ganda.
Shut it off.
Ganda.
Shut it off! Oh my God!
Welcome, my children, to Fly By Films. My name is Blake Collier, and with me tonight is my spooky co-host, Jamison Barsotti. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. That's about all I got.
Blake, I was not expecting that at all. I was not expecting that at all.
Well, I mean, it seemed fitting. I don't know.
Yeah.
If I could do a cackle like the Crypt Keeper, I would have done that, but I can't do it.
Yeah. Well, you can still aspire to do things. So,
Yeah.
Put that on your goal list.
Yeah. Dream big.
Maybe someday. You've
Yeah,
still got
so
you've still got a few years left before you're like Crypt Keeper status. So,
yeah, I'm still young-ish.
Yeah. You've got a spryness about you, somewhat.
Most people call that more assholishness.
Oh.
It's not so much spry as just being a real pain in the ass.
Well, the Crypt Keeper does not lose that. Whatever
No,
the Crypt
it's
Keeper loses, it's definitely not his ability to be an asshole.
No, it's his skin.
Yeah. It's his skin.
And his organs.
Yeah. And not his hair. He still keeps his hair.
Or it could
some
be a
of
wig.
it. Yeah. It could just be, other people's hair that he's taken.
Yeah. I mean,
Probably.
It would make sense because he's the Crypt Keeper. He has ample, ability to take whatever hair he wants.
Yeah. Did you ever watch, speaking of the Crypt Keeper, did you ever watch the cartoon Tales from the Crypt when you were a kid?
I believe I did maybe once or twice. I feel like it didn't last very long.
Didn't last very long, but and this kind of ties in to some of the stuff we're going to talk about today. But I remember it creeping me out as a kid. So there was like a Sleeping Beauty episode. I wasn't allowed to watch it, of course, but I was at a friend's house and it was on, and there was like a Sleeping Beauty episode. But it was dark Sleeping Beauty. I don't remember what happened, but it was just gross things happening. I mean, it was a cartoon show for kids, so I guess it couldn't have been that gross, but yeah.
But yeah, still, it was a little edgier than maybe what normal kids' fare would be.
Yeah, and I think the thing about the show that really threw me off was it also had that goosebumps thing where it wouldn't end on a happy note.
Yeah.
Like it ended where people were still trapped or there was still some sort of problem and
Mm-hmm.
it didn't get resolved. And that would fuck with little Jamie's head. So
Poor little Jamie.
poor little Jamie.
Poor little Jamie. He must be tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there was a few shows that were for kids that were on the edgier side of kids programming as far as horror went. I mean, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Remember that?
Hmm.
I mean, some of that stuff was terrifying to me as a kid. I remember
Yeah.
watching it a few times as a kid and being a little freaked out by that. Um, Hell, the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark books. I mean,
Yeah.
that stuff was insane.
I didn't ever read those because I wasn't much of a reader as a kid, and so I don't know. I missed out on things like that. But also I think my mom tried her best to keep scary things out of our house. Despite my dad's uh despite my dad, but I think my dad eventually won out. I watched Exorcist by the time I was 12 and and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like and for all these things that really like kind of tore me up inside and scared me and made for sleepless nights and stuff like that, I always gravitated towards this stuff. I was still fascinated by
Oh
it. I
yeah.
still am, and I think, I mean, man, we're gonna talk about Bloody Mary today. Uh,
Hmm.
I I think this is core to the Bloody Mary urban
Oh yeah.
legend. But before we move on to that, I actually want to ask, since this is our first Halloween episode, what was the thing what was the thing that you were afraid of as a kid? Like,
As a kid?
yeah, yeah. I mean, it could
Yeah.
be kind of your first stage of life or whatever.
Yeah. Um I mean, I was never a big fan of like spiders were always kind of icky to me. It's weird because I was okay with tarantulas. Like I had no problem with them. But that's somewhere like I think I'd heard somewhere along the way that as long as you don't mess with them, they're not going to hurt you. Like if you as long as you don't like actively mess with them. You can pick them up and whatnot and they're fine,
Yeah.
but I just somewhere in the back of my head I knew that that was the case whereas every other spider could potentially be poisonous, and so I would kill it, um, or I would scream or whatever if I saw one. But
I
I and I saw arachnophobia as a young child too, which didn't help my fear of spiders. I don't know if you remember that movie, but
I do.
yeah,
I do.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah, I think that's my earliest fear, to be honest.
My biggest memory of arachnophobia is actually the trailer for it and the cover art,
Yeah.
because I didn't actually watch it as a kid. It was one of those movies that some of my friends watched, and I would hear about. Um, I didn't watch it until like 2 years ago. I finally
Oh
was like,
wow.
"Oh, I'll watch Arachnophobia." I didn't like it. I thought it was boring as hell, and take that with a grain of salt, because I think that, like, I generally think that the criticism of this movie is boring is more of a personal problem.
Yeah.
Like, but not saying that you can't be bored by something and you can't like have that as a valid reason why you didn't like it. That's fine. But for me, it's generally a personal problem. But I don't know. I guess I thought it was going to be more exciting, and it just wasn't.
Yeah. No,
But
that's fair.
yeah, but I don't know. Maybe I just didn't give it a fair shake. I don't know. So
I think you just are a bad person. That's what I think. I'm just kidding.
I
No,
also
I
did. Yeah.
what was yours?
So, so yeah, I didn't like spiders, and that still kind of persists to today. I think
Oh yeah,
I've
same
I've
here.
I've made peace with them, but the thing that sticks out to me was werewolves.
Oh
I was,
really?
which is weird because I think werewolves are super goofy,
Yeah.
but this is this is like something I'm embarrassed about. When I was 5, I like was in school. I was mostly homeschooled, but when I was in kindergarten, I did go to school, and there was like this I forget what it was, but there was a way to make money in the kindergarten class, some sort of economy, and then you could buy
Yeah.
these
Oh
toys or
yeah. No, I
whatnot.
remember that. Yeah, we had
Yeah,
something similar.
yeah. And the thing that I wanted was this VHS tape of the Super Mario Brothers show.
Oh
Um,
yes, I remember that
and
show.
yeah, and I wanted it so bad, and I got it, and it was great, and I love that thing. But one of the episodes was this episode. It was like a Halloween episode where the turtles, the Koopa turtles, turned into were turtles. Uh,
Oh.
and
Mm-mm.
it wasn't that like this is almost even stupider than werewolves is were turtles. Like
Yeah.
admittedly, and I think I knew that as a 5-year-old too. I was like, this is dumb. Why does this scare me? But I think what frightened me about uh, werewolves is that you lose control of your body and you more than likely hurt everyone around you. And I was
Yeah.
so afraid of just murdering my family, like turning
Oh
into a
wow.
werewolf and murdering my family, that it just tortured.
But really, at the heart of that is just the fear of loneliness.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I would be alone in the world. I wouldn't have my mom, my dad, my sister around, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, so so I like remember the scene where these turtles turn into like were turtles, and it like I would think about that as I like tried to sleep constantly.
That's
I don't know.
hilarious. Yeah,
I know.
I've never like I've always found werewolves to be largely goofy, but I admit that some of the werewolf adjacent creatures, like chupacabras and stuff like that, are still terrifying to me. Like the
Good
stuff
old
that's
Chucky.
like kind of a dog like creature that is like lurking and has been seen by random people and whatnot in deserts and Mexico and stuff like that. It's terrifying to me. So, but I think it's the half man half werewolf aspect that makes me find it goofy. It's I think if it was just like a I think I find rabid dogs more terrifying than werewolves.
Yeah,
Because-
and I think you're right in that too. Like they legitimately are. Dogs are scary, and this is the second time
yeah.
we've talked about dogs being scary on this podcast. They are, you know, they can do a lot of damage. I think what cured me of my fear of werewolves though was Teen Wolf.
Oh, that's yeah.
Watching Teen
Yeah.
Wolf and what you're talking about, the half man, half wolf.
Hmm.
You know, I just I think realizing that I could use my superpowers for basketball instead of
Yeah.
murdering my family was what cured me. So you know,
But thankfully that's not the way 80% of werewolf lore goes. 80% of it goes like the way you were afraid of as a kid. So
yeah, yeah.
it's just
Well,
the occasional teen wolf movie slash TV show that comes around and makes it cool to be a werewolf, glitzy, and you know,
Yeah, the occasional Michael J. Fox.
exactly.
Fox is himself in there,
I mean, it's like time travel. I mean, everyone talks about Back to the Future, but if time travel was actually a thing, it'd be terrifying.
Absolutely. It would not be as glamorous
No,
as Back to the Future makes it
no,
seem.
not at all. So I was going to read uh, perhaps one of these versions of Bloody Mary for our audience to kind of get into the meat of our topic tonight. Did you have one that was a favorite of yours?
Um, I No, they were all pretty short.
Yeah, they're all short.
They were all kind of equally kind of creepy. So
Hmm.
I think
Well,
you could choose, yeah, your favorite.
I'll pick the longest one. How about that?
Sounds good.
By time, Jameson. All right, so this comes out of the book Be Very Afraid, the Book of Scary Urban Legends by Jan Harold Brunvand. I'm guessing that's a Nordic name of some sort, and I probably did a hatchet job on it. But
You nailed it.
this person is known for being a expert on urban legends, and so yeah, this is out of that book, which is basically just a collection of different versions of these various urban legends out there. But this is one on Bloody Mary, which is going to be our topic tonight. During recess at school, you go into the girls' bathroom, something that both Jameson and I have experienced at some point in our life. You know,
Yeah.
we're in recess, and where do you go? You go to the girls' bathroom. So, already on the same page right there.
Well, yeah, I
You're,
was homeschooled, so so the girls' bathroom was the only bathroom.
that's fair.
And there
No,
were,
that's
yeah,
good.
yeah, and there were three
That's
girls versus one
TMI,
boy.
Jameson. We didn't need to know that you were homeschooled. Okay.
Thanks. Thanks, Blake.
You've got a whole part of our listening population that now is curious about a lot of things right now. So,
Yes. Yeah.
did Jameson vote for Trump? Is it possible?
No, it's not possible. I promise you.
Okay. So during recess at school, you go into the girls' bathroom. Your friends wait outside because only one person is allowed in at a time. One girl stands at the door to turn out the lights once you're positioned in front of the mirror. Once the lights are out, you close your eyes and turn around 3 times. Then you open them and stare straight into the mirror and chant, Bloody Mary, show your fright this starry night. You have to chant slowly so she has time to come from the spirit world. Then you wait to see her face. Once you see her, you have to run out of the bathroom where your friends are waiting. If you've sinned or done anything evil in your life, then you will have 3 scratches of blood on your cheek, which is a slightly different version than what most people say.
Yeah.
Most people go into the bathroom with their friends and they have to say Bloody Mary 3 times. And at that point, if they see a face in the mirror or they feel something or any number of things. One of the articles that we actually read talked about an older version of it where you hold a candle and you walk up the stairs backwards, which seems unsafe, to be completely
Yeah.
honest. With a mirror in the other hand, and you say Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, and in the mirror, if you see the face of a man, then that's going to be the face of your future husband. But if you see the face of the Grim Reaper, it means you will die before you get married.
Oof. Brutal.
Now,
Your two options are either get married or die.
yeah, I
Oof.
mean, there's some connections there.
Yeah.
And I'm not even saying that I dislike being married. No, there's a certain level of death that you have to go through when you get married because you're not
Yeah.
just a single person.
Yeah, your life fundamentally changes in certain ways, and yeah, so you could think of that as like a death.
Yeah,
And
it's a death. It's not the death.
yeah, I was just being, extra. But the thing
God, Jamison, you're so extra sometimes.
so extra.
I bet you
The,
drink pumpkin spice lattes too, don't you?
yeah, isn't that average though? I feel like that's basic.
That's you're. Are you a basic bitch?
I I I'm coming out as a basic bitch, Blake. You got me. You found me.
Okay, well, hey,
Uh, the thing I like about this story is like in the middle, it's like you have to chant slowly so that she has time to come from the spirit world. Like every time I read that, it makes me laugh. It's like Bloody Mary is like rushing to like, oh, I've been called. I gotta get there, and it like takes so long. Whereas like normally we think of like spirits just being able to like teleport and stuff like that, but like this like no, there's so much time.
back in the '90s, she was highly wanted, so she was running all over the place. She's like, oh,
Yeah,
another one. Ah,
yeah. This is like a Santa Claus problem. Like, how do you
yeah,
get
exactly.
man?
Unless they are like God and that they are outside of the time space continuum, but I mean, it just depends, I guess, on if they're a created being or not.
Do you
Jameson,
think
can you answer? Do you think Bloody Mary was created or was begotten, not made?
created? I
Okay.
think created with our minds for sure.
Oh, so you're saying you're buying into the tulpa idea,
Yes,
the
I
idea
definitely.
that if enough people believe in something and they will it in their mind, that they start to see that thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh?
I think that's part of it. I mean, so there was also the historical Bloody Mary, right?
Yeah, of course.
Um, and
Who was a badass?
yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't read anything on her. So, but you are a historian, so maybe you can give us
I
some
mean,
deets.
it was. I mean, she was the hard part about royalty and English history is that they all get really confusing and mixed up in my head. I'm not one of those people that like can track down like the line of the Tudors and whatnot. But
Yeah,
I do know that she was the one before Queen Elizabeth, and she tried to bring Catholicism back to England after Henry VIII separated from Catholicism and created the Church of England. She
yes,
tried to bring the good Catholic Church back into the land by sword, by the killing of many people, and she
because
failed,
that's
of course.
that's yeah, that's how you heal a schism is
Yeah,
by
violence.
by violence.
Yeah, I
Absolutely,
mean it works every time. I mean, just look at the world today. How much unity have we gotten because of wars and violence and conflict? I mean, it's really
absolutely.
amazing, to be honest.
Really brings people together.
And you know how Elizabeth tried to bring back Protestantism to England
How?
with violence.
Yeah. Okay. I I knew that was coming.
Yeah, yeah, but she was a lot more successful. It also didn't hurt that a lot of people really hated the Catholics at the time. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Another interesting thing about this take on Bloody Mary is a lot of Bloody Marys, and you mentioned this before, like they involve some sort of chant 3 times. So it's this
hmm
number of three, and three doesn't show up in the chant in this case.
yeah,
It shows up later on in the story. in the number of scratches you might have on your
Yep.
face if you're evil.
Yep. If you're a real bad sinner.
Yeah. If
And you have to
you're
be real bad.
yeah.
Like, and you haven't gone to confession.
Yeah. And of course, you are a schoolgirl at this point,
Yes.
and you're this evil.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's something that I noticed with a lot of the versions of the story is that it's very specifically centered on uh, teenage girls or middle school teenage girls, which is interesting in its own right and could easily get the title of misogynistic, I suppose. But I
yeah.
feel like there's probably something that's deeper going on there than just misogyny. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's always misogyny involved in all of it, but I would imagine that there's a deeper reason behind that. But I couldn't tell you what it was because I'm not that smart.
Yeah, yeah. Either either I don't think either of us are scholars on this. I think I read somewhere that some of the bases of this Bloody Mary folklore, like, are based on a female figure that was brutally murdered or something like
Hmm.
that. So there's definitely misogyny at play, in these things. But there was speaking of the kind of young schoolgirl aspect of these, there was one interesting one, the Japanese version of this. I don't know if you saw
No, I
that.
didn't. I didn't hear
Um,
about this one.
this is related. It's Hanako-san, um, which is, I guess there's a 1995 film called Tora no Hanako-san, which means toilet bound, um, Hanako-san, and it's about this girl that haunts the bathrooms of schools,
Oh,
specifically the
I was for some
toilets.
reason I was thinking of Samara from The Ring coming up out of a toilet,
I mean,
and so
I'm guessing it's kind of like that.
well,
But yeah.
and no, I mean their bathrooms are often called toilets in some countries, so
Mhm.
it's not outside the realm of possibility that they're talking about the room itself. That she's not actually physically coming up out of the quote unquote. Uh,
Uh, I I I wouldn't put it
Commode
past I wouldn't put it past Japanese culture to do something
to go
like
there.
that.
Oh yeah, no, I
If
wouldn't put
you've
it
ever
past them.
seen, yeah, if you've ever seen House, have you?
Yes,
Yeah. So there's
yes,
there's a hand that comes out of that toilet, and it asks for paper, and there's if you've ever played Majora's Mask, there's a
I've heard of it.
reference. Yeah, it's a Legend of Zelda game, and there's a reference to that in there where there's a hand that comes out of the toilet, and you have to. It's a side quest to get it paper.
That's
So
hilarious.
yeah, so I mean, maybe they're talking about the room. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not a Japanese scholar, but my small knowledge of Japanese culture, I wouldn't put it past them for
oh yeah, no,
having a
no,
wacky
for sure.
batshit thing.
Yeah, yeah, actually asked my wife earlier tonight if she ever played Bloody Mary, and she's like, "Oh yeah, of course I did." And I was like, it's odd because I knew it always took place back when I was growing up, but I
Hmm.
never did it. Like it literally seems to be very divided between genders as to who participated and who didn't. Um, I mean, I heard about some of my you know the girls in my class doing it,
Hmm.
but I never heard of any guys doing it.
You never tried it out?
No, no. I think as a kid, I was generally speaking pretty scared enough to know to not even want to bring anything like that into the world. Whereas now
Yeah.
I'm just an idiot, and I'm like, why not?
Yeah. Let's say Bloody Mary. I forget what I was watching or what I was listening to, but it was like I think I saw this thing on Bloody Mary where it was like you got to say Bloody Mary 50 times, and
Yeah,
I was
I saw that. I
oh,
saw that there are versions of it where it literally could be any number of times.
that's insane
Um,
to me. I'm like 50 times. I would give up. I wouldn't be able to keep track. I would be like on 35 and be like, "Oh shit, am I
Wait, am
on
I on 20s
30?"
or the 30s right now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I never did Bloody Mary, but I have a really funny story to tell you.
Okay, go
Um,
for it.
did your My dad told me that it wasn't Bloody Mary. He told me that it was Luther Laser Lips.
Oh, I think you mentioned this on the
Yeah.
last episode, and
So
we were going to go into it because this was going to be therapy for you.
so no. So no one has ever heard of Luther Laser Lips except for me and my siblings. But this is the story that my dad told us that was essentially the Bloody Mary story.
I love it. Okay, give
Uh,
it to us.
okay, you'll have to forgive me because when he told us, I was like very young, you know, 5, 6, 7, around that
I
age.
was really hoping you were going to say like 16.
Yeah, I was very young, 17 years old, um, just starting out in life. You know how it is. Uh, yeah, no. So I was very young, and so I don't have all of the details, but I have the gist of the story. So the story is that there was this guy named Luther, and he had a friend who worked at a lab. I don't know what type of lab or anything like that. I don't know what their relationship was other than they were friends, but for some reason, Luther needed to get into the lab, and so he breaks in to his friend's lab, and I don't know what he was doing there. I can't recall, but he was doing something. He was messing around, and then all of a sudden, and of course, this lab has a giant laser in it.
Oh.
So he accidentally presses the wrong button and he gets like pinned down or something by something. I don't know. And the laser starts. And just imagine like the scene from Goldfinger with James Bond, except
Where it's
it's
going
not,
up the table.
yeah, it's not
Yeah.
going towards his crotch, but instead it starts going towards his face and it lasers off his lips. And I was like, as a kid, I was like, what is going on? But here's a man with no lips, and that is a very frightening image. And when you're a kid, you have a good imagination, kind of maybe. Um, but so for some reason, this kills him, I guess, and he becomes like a embittered spirit towards life because it was cut short. So
Yeah.
now he's called Luther Laserlips. And so if you go into the bathroom and turn out all the lights, turn towards the mirror and say Luther Laserlips 3 times, uh, then he'll show up. And my dad would always do this action where he would like try to like hide his lips and like scare me with his teeth. And that is the story of Luther Laserlips.
That
Okay.
is brilliant. I'm gonna applaud your father for being creative, because I mean that's what urban legends are for, is to take them and to build on them.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously it was just for the alliteration. Like
Yeah.
my dad got this alliteration worm in his mind, and he was like, "How
Mm-hmm.
do I build on this?" But I have to be completely honest, it fucking worked. I was scared shitless of Luther Laserlips. Like little Jamie again, what, like he messed around with this too. He would go into the bathroom and he would like say it once and then get freaked out and leave, and then he wouldn't look
That's
at the mirrors, and yeah, it worked.
that's amazing.
Son of a bitch, Luther Laserlips worked. Anyway, so that's
so
that's that's my Bloody Mary.
so let's dig into this a little bit more. We need to figure out what's going on here, because I think this is essential to this month of our movies. Is that what exactly is the fear going on in looking at our own reflection and seeing something there that's not supposed to be there?
Yeah,
Whether you say the words or whatever, the fear comes whenever you see the face or you feel the thing behind you or something scrapes you or whatever it may be. It's the thing being in a enclosed space that's not supposed to be there. Like, where's that fear come from? Like,
it's also, I feel like it's also tied to, like, I was thinking about that. It's also tied to like this this fascination with play almost, right?
yeah,
Because
uh huh,
it's a game that turns horribly bad, right?
yeah,
I mean, if it works out.
yeah,
And you know the rules and you know that. And in some ways it reminds me of like it reminds me of uh Hellraiser in a
yeah,
sense, where like here's a puzzle box. You're playing with the puzzle box. And then you finally solve it. And usually, when you solve like a Rubik's Cube or something like that, you're like, oh, great, I'm a genius. But instead, in Hellraiser world, you're fucked. You, you like,
literally
you,
and figuratively.
yeah, you get literally fucked over and over and over and over again. Um, yeah, no, I mean, you invite these demons in to just terrorize you. And so like you have that mixed in with the mirror, which I think you were
hmm.
kind of hinting at, like mirrors you see yourself,
Yeah.
and that's there's something in there. There's something in there. But I you know, I'm definitely like filtering this through my my homeschooled kind of repressed evangelical prism, but like I think that there's something kind of, and Hellraiser kind of gets at this too. There's something kind of sexual about it in a
hmm.
sense too, because a lot of times, especially like youthful sexuality, you're experimenting with these things, and at the same time you're getting told that like you're gonna get AIDS and you're gonna
Yeah.
die,
Hmm.
and
Or you're
this
gonna
thing,
have a baby and your life is over.
your life is over, yeah, like I was afraid that I was gonna get an STD from masturbating, like it was.
Yeah.
I
It's
didn't
so
know,
true.
I didn't know what was going on, and
Or that I was gonna
like,
get smoked by God Himself.
yeah, yeah, and I think there's something at play there, because there's this pull of I want to play this game. I'm I'm attracted to it. There's something in there.
Yeah.
But then there's also this like, but I know it's going to end bad.
Well, and I think but I think that leads to the fact that if you think about it, like we are, it, okay. First off, it'd be really interesting to see what the world of belief was like prior to the Enlightenment, because I think the Enlightenment really fucked us over in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
in that it divided two things that probably were not near as compartmentalized before. The reason and the imagination or the enchantment or whatever term you want to use for it. Like I wonder if those were a little bit more tightly wound
Mm.
before the Enlightenment. The Enlightenment kind of ripped them apart, and so part of me wonders if like that constant urge to play games that we know could end badly is that separation of in the back of our head we're like, yeah, but it's not true, right? Like it's not gonna happen to me. Like
Yeah.
first off, Bloody Mary isn't even a thing. Like in the back of our head, we don't believe it's actually true, but we're still terrified by it. And
Well,
so it's like
yeah.
this weird push and pull of like the two sides of human emotion slash the rationality.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, but like if it's not going to end bad with you, where's the payoff, right? It's like
yeah.
the payoff is in it ending badly too, which is
Yeah.
yeah,
Or ending ending badly but surviving and then gloating.
yeah. I think too there is a sense where like you as a person kind of understand like oh it holds this power over you and in order to like get past the power you have to go through it
Yeah.
too. Um,
Are you
and
saying that we have to pass through the bad stuff in order to get to the good stuff on the other side?
I mean, if the bad stuff is Luther Laser Lips, yeah, yep,
Okay. Fair
100.
enough.
Luther Laser Lips and Were Turtles,
Were turtles.
yeah,
or
you gotta pat
my personal favorite, Were Rabbit.
Were Rabbit, yeah.
Wallace and Gromit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Curse of the Were Rabbit.
Curse of that dingus Were Rabbit.
Um so you went back and I'm gonna go back to something you said
Okay.
probably somewhat off the cuff, but you said
Oh,
all these demonic influences. So I'm curious. Do you think that all of these ghosts and and ghouls and beasties and whatnot? Do you think it's? Do you believe in the Jacques Vallée theory that it's really just demonic influence trying to basically distract you from the truth?
no, I don't. And I guess the reason why I don't is because I think that these things I think there's truth in these things, and I don't subscribe to horror as all negative, right?
Yeah,
So I I think yeah, I just don't really see it all as demonic. But yeah,
yeah.
that's just me. Um
Yeah, I remember being wooed by the idea there for a while because I just never thought about it and it was fairly new, even though it wasn't even remotely new. Jacques Vallée thought that of aliens um, back in the I think it was 60s, 70s maybe, um, and I remember hearing it and thinking, oh, that's a really fascinating idea. That like he almost returns it to kind of this like proto Christian like enchanted world where it's
mm,
like these things are given a life force that is part of the powers and principalities as the Bible calls it, and you know it's all trying to dissuade you from from searching for God or searching for truth, whatever it might
Hmm.
be. And so I was fascinated by that idea. Over the years, I've kind of dropped it since then because I'm like, it kind of kills a lot of the fun.
Yeah, I guess I also think like I subscribe. I guess if we're on the topic of demons, I definitely subscribe to a much more like uh, uh screw tape lettersy
Yeah,
version of demons, and I guess I think that like the idea that like demons are just being so obvious.
yeah.
I mean, sure, like, okay, you could flip it back to me like the greatest trick the demons ever pulled was to convince you that they weren't the obvious
Oh,
things, you
bro,
know?
bro, I'm not gonna use C.S. Lewis against you. You just use C.S. Lewis.
Yeah. 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 Oh, I thought that was I was trying to get the movie reference, the usual suspects. So
Isn't it? For some reason, I was thinking that C.S. Lewis said something similar to that,
I
but
mean,
maybe
I
not.
think it's in line with like screw tape letters, right?
Yeah, that
That
makes
like,
sense. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, and yeah, you could just do screw tape, all the way
yeah.
down and stuff. But
No, I definitely think that the realm of the demonic, whatever you want to call it, is much more intelligent than the jump scares
sure,
of.
sure, yeah,
I don't think Bloody Mary showing up in the mirror is a demon. It just seems
yeah,
counterintuitive. Like
yeah,
the point is to not believe in the in a spiritual realm. That's the point. Like that's what they're
mhm,
trying to get.
yeah, yeah,
Because the
I,
second you start believing in the spiritual realm, it kind of opens up the door to the possibility of a divine God.
yeah, yeah.
So
Um, so because we're actually trying to stick to a time budget for these
yeah.
episodes, I do want to tie this in.
Ooh.
But what about if the Bloody Mary is real? And what if it's a person? And this has happened before, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bloody. Well, I mean, so one of the articles I looked at talked about the various possible people that the Bloody Mary legend was based on, and one of them was a witch back in the 1800s who would kill slaves in the Underground Railroad. Um, and so part of it was that she had been caught and tortured for her misdeeds and hung from a tree, and she haunts those who call her name ever since. Another one, which was a true story about a woman who ended up killing a bunch of school age girls, which was but her name wasn't Mary; it was like Elizabeth.
Hmm.
So, like, it's like the tie was there, but the name is not really there.
Yeah.
So it's there's a lot of conjecture around where the actual origin of Bloody Mary lies,
Yeah.
because no one really knows.
Yeah. 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 I
And
think
depending on which one it is, I might be more terrified.
sure that first one with the witch
Yeah,
is pretty creepy.
yeah. I'm not too concerned about the woman who kills the school age girls because I am neither school age nor a girl, so
I am concerned about the
I'm
one at
not
the
worried.
beginning where you have a mirror and you walk up your
Yeah,
stairs, only because I'm already married.
yeah.
So I feel like the only option is the Grim Reaper in that case.
But then you would have to die instantaneously because it had missed its timeline because
Oh,
it was supposed to kill you before your marriage day.
before. Oh, yeah.
And
Well,
so, like, you would have to die instantaneously. You would have to, they would almost have to send you back in time and then kill you.
and kill you. Yeah.
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 which is
I mean,
weird.
yeah, maybe it's one of those things where the Grim Reaper just has taken too long because the spirit
And
world
so,
is so far away.
I mean, he's got to be pretty old at this point.
Yeah. Do you think do you think Bloody Mary has solved the traveling salesman problem uh,
I don't know if I
to
know the
to
traveling salesman.
maximize her time? The traveling salesman problem. This is just dumb math stuff.
Oh,
Is if you have if you have a bunch of dots in space, or like if you have a network of things and it's just basically nodes in space, what's the most efficient way to go and to like hit all of them,
yeah, or to hit
um,
as many as possible.
or all of them? So what's the most efficient way so you can actually go to all of them, so you
Oh,
can
okay,
travel to all of them?
gotcha.
um, and you get to dictate like where the different roads are between
Okay,
these dots and these nodes. And
gotcha.
so the problem is the algorithm for this is really, really slow, because you could try like every combination and figure it out, like
Yeah,
what's the most efficient way. But that's a very, very slow algorithm. And so the traveling salesman problem is basically, how do you like solve what the most efficient way to
gotcha.
hit them all is, faster, essentially. So
Huh.
yeah,
Learn
if you
something new every day.
yeah, if you solve that, you get $1 million. I think I think it's one of the millennial problems, but
Didn't they kill off the traveling salesman? Like, isn't there like a play about the death of the salesman?
death of the traveling salesman. That would actually
Oh,
be
okay.
a
Yeah.
good. I don't know what it would be about.
Like
Be about,
I could
yeah,
see that being a math paper.
yeah. It'd be about
Yeah.
math getting too stupid for its own good, which we're
so
probably
so I
there.
feel like if we're going to actually end on time, we have 10 minutes, and we should probably talk about uh, the first of the first film in the two franchises that we're attempting to watch real quick.
Yeah.
And so, as we talked about last week, we're watching the second and third Candyman movie, which is Farewell to the Flesh and Day of the Dead. And then we're watching Urban Legends, Bloody Mary. And then we're doing some rando indie horror film that Jameson jumped on me last minute. We're not going to talk about that. That one is its own thing. But I figure since we're jumping into the sequels, we should briefly talk and talk. I mean, really briefly talk about our experiences with Candyman, the original, and because that's a whole nother element is that Candyman kind of, especially after the movie, kind of became its own version of Bloody Mary.
Hmm.
Um, it became a game of sorts. What was your experience with Candyman and Urban Legends when you saw them?
Well, so my experience with Urban Legends, I watched that one first. That was when I kind of first started being allowed to rent R-rated movies, and I was watching all of these horror movies that kind of, I think around that time was also the boom of teen horror movies from the 90s to the 2000s, that kind of boom. I feel like there was a whole spread of like Final Destination, I Know What Did Last Summer. I think it
Mm-hmm.
started with Scream, and then
Yep.
some of the sequels, and
It's
then
kind of
Urban,
that second wave of slasher films. Yeah.
yeah, and Urban Legend was in there. And so that was my
Yeah.
experience with Urban Legend. I think I knew it wasn't very good, but it also allowed me to watch, some gory
Yeah.
things. I don't. There's not a scene in it that like sticks with me. So unfortunately, I don't have that. It was so long ago, but I think wasn't Joshua Jackson in it?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure he was. Yeah,
yeah. I guess we could
I think
always
that's
look.
probably. I think that's the reason why I watched it in the first place. Is because I was a big Mighty Ducks fan.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
So
I'm not seeing Joshua Jackson, but you know who I'm seeing? Jared
wait.
Leto.
Oh, wow. Okay. I guess that
Uh,
makes sense.
yeah, let's see. Yeah, Jared Leto was in it. I didn't remember that at all.
Alicia Witt was the main actress.
Okay. Oh, Joshua
I
Jackson
remember.
was in it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking he was. I was like, it can't be that off my rocker.
Yeah.
Robert England is plays the professor,
Yeah.
and I remember that's the most key scene for me is that he's he's basically a professor of urban legends, blah blah blah, and he brings up the whole like pop rocks and coke thing, and
Yeah.
that's how he
Oh,
dies. That's how he dies because he does it, and I'm pretty sure that's how he dies because I think he's demonstrating it, and whoever is killing the people like ends up like replacing with something, and he actually dies from pop rocks, or someone does. All I know is that he introduces pop rocks and coke, and
yes.
someone dies because of it, and I think it was him,
Yeah.
but it's been a while. So
Yeah, and I think this will be the last thing I say on Urban Legends. The movie was that that movie is kind of a buzzkill when it comes to urban legends because it does that. It
yeah,
takes these things and it comes up with a scientific explanation for
yeah,
all of these ways these things could happen. And it was supposed to be kind of fun and unique. And this was also around the time that like Memento came out,
yeah,
and you had these like tightly wound movies with very logical explanations, and and I think that was just the zeitgeist of the time. So
yeah. Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to say about urban legends either. I remember I went through a brief period where I was in love with Alicia Witt after seeing it, but that's about it. Um, what about Candyman? Because I didn't see Candyman until college.
I remember Candyman. I remember it being a thing growing up, but yeah, I didn't watch it until I don't remember when I watched it the first time, but it was probably college. It was
Yeah,
probably like mid 2000s.
that would have been about the same time I watched it the first time.
Yeah. And yeah, and I remember it being pretty solid.
Yeah.
I rewatched it last year with my wife because we actually wanted to go and see the more recent one that
Hmm.
came out last year, which I actually liked. I thought it was pretty good.
I still
Um,
haven't seen it.
yeah, I think it's decent. I really like um, I really like the guy who plays Candyman in that.
Tony Todd.
Not Tony
Hmm.
Todd. I like Tony Todd, but
Yeah.
the new
Oh, the new
Candyman.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Um, Yeah, but we can talk about the new one maybe in the next episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. I remember. I I think what strikes me about Candyman is that that it's urban horror. It takes place in Chicago. It takes place in the product projects, and
Yep.
that was very unique. You really
The
only
Chicago
had
Housing Authority.
you had that, and then I think in the '90s you also had like Tales from the Hood and stuff, and
Yep.
these
Yeah. I
yeah.
remember being deeply confused by watching Candyman the first time. I didn't know what to do with it.
Hmm.
Um, I watched it again about 2 or 3 years ago, and I loved it. I was like, this is fantastic. Like,
Yeah.
I know I recognize all the potential problems with it. Like, I get it, but man, it worked on every level for me. I was like, Tony Todd's great. Like this whole backstory of like his death and whatnot, and how
Yeah.
the myth builds, and tying in the projects into it, Cabrini Green, and it was really. I mean, I went through a whole period where I was reading about Chicago public housing after that that viewing, because I was like, this is fascinating. Like
Yeah.
this is so. Yeah, I was really a big fan of it the second time I watched it, because I at that point I had more of a foundation of what it was going for and some of the critiques it was making, and
Yeah.
not perfectly by any stretch. There's plenty of problems with it, but um, I think it's just really well made, and really
Yeah.
effective. Um, and so yeah, I mean it's we get to see how they build on those uh, universes, as we call them these days.
Yeah. One thing I will say too about Candyman is like it's again kind of this take on Bloody Mary. So you have that aspect in it, and
Hmm.
as we were talking about Bloody Mary earlier, one of the things we kind of said, like, there's not really a solid basis on like a thing or
Yeah,
something like this. Like Candyman, I feel like has almost a stronger backbone than any of the
yeah,
Bloody Mary myths. Like you mentioned the backstory with Tony Todd's character, and yeah, it's kind of simplistic and whatnot, but it's valid, and it
yeah,
like it cap encapsulates a lot of the racism that it's going for, and it I feel like it gives a really solid backing to this urban legend that sometimes can be a little wishy-washy. So
yeah. Oh,
it
definitely.
yeah.
Well, and it gives a little bit. It tries to ground it a little bit better than Bloody
Hmm.
Mary does. Bloody Mary seems a little bit too ethereal, a little
Hmm.
bit too kind of lifted out of a lot of different possibilities, whereas Candyman is very specifically tied to like the American South and like
Yeah.
the period of slavery and the Civil War, and like it's
Yeah.
it's very grounded. So
and 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 then tying that back into the Chicago housing
yeah,
and all those problems, and like
which are
very
not connected at all.
not connected at all.
Nope,
Not at all.
not at all.
No. All right. Well, if you want to hear us continue not connecting these things,
Yes,
then tune in for our follow up episode, our second episode of the Halloween season
or
on
as we've been calling it, Focktober.
uh yeah.
F-
It's-
talk.
oh yeah, I thought it was Five October.
Five. Yeah, it's October.
Oh my god, no one knows what we're talking about. Um, it's fuck Fly By Films October.
Yeah,
So
but
because
shortened.
that's who we are. All right. I hope y'all have a great first week of October. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye.